Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 30th of March, comes to you from London. And just again, quite a lot of green on the screen today. A bit of a mixed picture, but on the whole, we're seeing markets looking fairly sedate. We're seeing the dollar index pushing higher again, so the strong dollar is very much the theme. The euro therefore weaker against that stronger dollar. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily and my 60-minute chart with the corresponding point and figure targets. The dollar yen is the interesting one. We've broken the 110 level for the first time since the middle of last year. Actually, this is really a one-year high on the dollar yen, so that's really showing its strength there. Sterling sitting at 137.53 against that stronger dollar, fairly flat in really, but against the euro we're seeing sterling just continuing to push higher. So stronger sterling is very much a theme there. Looking at Bitcoin, we're at $58,000. So we really are pushing back to those highs. It's quite interesting looking at the Ethereum charts, also pushing higher as well. The S&P 500 index was slightly down yesterday. US stocks fairly sedate at the moment. We're seeing the Nasdaq still struggling to break above the cloud there on the short-term chart. The E-mini is sitting today flat at the open, and the Nasdaq down 0.5%. So tech stocks still out of favour, so that's quite key. The VIX volatility sitting at 20.8, no real change there. FTSE future is up 0.6% in the UK this morning, and the DAX cash market is up by a similar amount, 0.6%. So holding on to those highs, looking quite good. The CAC Current up 0.8%. And again, look at all these upside targets. So markets taking quite a lot in their stride. Japan was lower, Hong Kong was higher, the Indian market was the strongest, up 2% in Asia, so that's looking pretty good. Looking at commodities now, we've got gold back below the $1,700 mark, so that's really showing weakness there. Key thing is, will we make a lower low? That's what we really have to watch out for with gold. And silver also sitting down 1%, so that's quite significant too. Looking at the US 10-year yield, highly significant here. We're at 1.77%, pushing all the way to this 3.27 target. Note how we hit the 174, pulled back. That did generate a downside target, but now that we've gone higher, we've deactivated that downside target. We've got short-term targets to 185, 187, so that's quite key. And the 30-year T-bond, similarly, lots of upside targets. 2.6 is the next level there. So the market has baked in these levels that we're going to see higher interest rates. Looking at the commodity prices now, looking at energy, we've got crude oil just still struggling to break this range. We're stuck in the 60-65 area. We are at 65.12 this morning. Crude looking a little bit stronger. We have activated this upside target, but we've got a downside target activated as well. The 1-minute charts are going to give us the first heads up as to where we go next. Been quite a lot of wobbles this week, obviously, with the sewers over the past week. Looking at, and now that's cleared, it'll be interesting to see how the price reacts. Looking at crude, WTI, much the same picture. A few mini targets, nothing that exciting. Some quite short-term support. The big one is nat gas. We are seeing a break here in US nat gas. We've had a contract roll, obviously, recently, but we're seeing these targets now, 267, 273. 270, 271. Looks like we will go higher on nat gas, so that's looking strong. We've got one even to 279, 277, so a little bit of a turnaround there this month. Looking at RBOB, we are still above the 2 level. Coal, we haven't got a price yet this morning on, but the 72.50 is just pushing higher all the time, and we do have upside targets. It was interesting to see that coal was the most held up dry bulk commodity with the Suez crisis. And looking at emissions, we are now just breaking back above the cloud. We were neutral emissions this week, even though we were below the cloud. It's a brave person who calls emissions bearish with this trend and these targets. So, and we'll have another new one here on the 1-minute chart, giving us another 4% upside if we break higher there. So that's significant too. Looking at gas price is 47. Just there is resistance on NBP at around these levels. TTF much the same. Resistance at 19, so that's quite significant. Looking at German power, up 0.5% this morning, not enough to break the range. And if we look at Nordic power, we're sitting fairly flat on the cow, but is just looking a bit weaker than German power. Targets in either direction. Taking a look at the COVID stats now, we've got quite interesting charts still pushing up pretty much everywhere in Europe. The UK sitting lowest with the vaccine program. Looking at the death toll, UK lower, Germany sitting at 1.93 per million, France at nearly 5 per million. That is significant. And we've got some very worrying numbers on some of these other places like Bulgaria at 15 per million. 3 times the rate of France, 15 times the rate of the UK at the moment. Greece also looking quite worrying, nudging 6 people per million. So, and Italy at 7. So we are seeing, and in Poland at nearly 10. So these are very significant numbers growing in Europe. Looking at the vaccination rates, the UK is now above the 50% mark, so that's significant. So all in all, we are seeing the vaccinations climbing in Europe. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.